Hey Internet, we're still going with my Murloc deck. I want to see how hard the Warleader nerfs have hit me, so I will go ahead and keep that in my opening hand. Divine Favor is tempting to keep in my opening hand, but I do have two of them in my deck, and generally I like curving this out if I can. It seems like he drew all his cards back, meaning that he probably doesn't have a Rushy deck, but I suppose there's a chance he's playing a Murloc deck because I redrew most of my cards as well. And I will go ahead and play the Vilephin in a Grimscale because I can play the Rock Pull next turn. I also have the, or not the, what is this? Vilephin Inquisitor and Grimscale Chum. Oh, I've been calling these both of these Grimscale. I didn't realize they had different names. All the Murloc looks the same to me, so, what are you going to do? And I do want to trade the 1-1 into here because I want to get the 3-4 out on the board and do 3 damage to the face. That way he can't buff anything on the board, and I get the Warleader out on the next turn, which could very well just end the game here. If he doesn't have an answer, it could just end the game. We'll see how this goes. +2 attack, as usual, is great. Question is, which do I want to trade into him so he can consecrate the turn afterwards, which is why I will actually trade the 3-2. You might think you want to trade the 3-4 because it keeps a minion on the board, but it could actually result in 3 of your minions getting killed off, and this way if he consecrates, I keep 2 minions on the board. Seems like he has equality, which means it doesn't really matter, because with the lack of health buff from the Warleader, these don't survive anymore. So he could still have Consecrate. I got my anything can happen, did not get it last game. That's such a shame. Spoilers, in case you haven't watched the previous video yet, but I will go ahead and get these out. That's kind of a Warleader. I got the +2 attack, got the 2 minions on the board, and I got the Grimscale to refresh my hand. Hopefully I can draw Divine Favor off of it as well. This combos with Divine Favor very well, and he has another Pyromancer. What? I would not expect a double Pyro. Seems like he's running some sort of hand buff deck. Okay, whatever, dude. Let's get this out of here. And I got away with dealing with his board now. Did not draw the Divine Favor. Do not need it. Don't need it. That's fine. Probably not going to play the Murloc Warleader next turn because there's not really going to be a lot to buff. If he plays any other spells, I'm not that good, but let's see, he has 1 minion in hand, that's it. And he's also playing a Dragon's deck. Hand buff Dragon's deck. Very interesting. Very interesting. I kind of like the option of just adapting one of these. I do have the AoE, but they cost a lot. And let's see. So Taunt is obviously good, or not Taunt. Divine Shield is obviously good because it makes it awkward to deal with. Summon 2/1/1 plants. If he kills it first and then uses a spell, he just gets rid of those. But I like the option of him not having a spell. Plus, he'd have to kill his guy off. He would have to use the 5/4 to kill it, and then he'd have to use a spell to kill it off, which kills his guy as well. Okay. It's not terrible. So he is playing a Dragon's deck. Very strange Dragon's deck is what he's playing. I can get this to do 3 damage, and then I can Consecrate if I want to. Then he can kill my Murloc Warleader. I do have the Corrupted Seer to deal with his nonsense the turn afterwards. And I like the option of resummoning the Murloc Warleader because I do have anything can happen in hand. And because I resummon cards here, I will go ahead and do this. So normally you kind of want to smork with this type of deck, but just because of the cards in my hand, I don't really have any option except to play the control game. I've got 4 AoE damage and I kind of have to use it. That's kind of bad. It's a little bit bad. Alright, if I play Divine Favor, I can draw 2 cards, but it does not deal with his board yet. So I will instead just... Oh, I should sack this in as well, because otherwise it would die. So let's kill 2 of his cards, get cards on the board. At least gives me some sort of a chance. And on turn 9, I can play that anything. Unfortunately, there are a lot of weak Murlocs I don't want to summon, but I can get that Warleader back. I can get a Charger back. If I draw Murkai, I can probably get that back. Alright, it's not terrible for me. Actually only killed 1 of my cards. It's not bad for me at all. and I can buff this up, but I'm also very close to dead, so I am going to have to see what I can draw here. Hey, I got the damage. He can do 5 damage to me now. Let's see if I can get the plus attack on the bluegill. Didn't get it. That's alright. Because at least I still survived this game, and he can do 6 damage to me. He's used a Consecrate. There's a decent enough chance I'm dead. We'll see how this goes. If not, anything can happen, buddy. Anything can happen. Is he going to trade the 5-3 into the 4-2? Because if he does, helps with the anything quite a bit. I don't have any silences in this deck. Would a silence be useful? Because the decks that I've lost to have largely been as a result of him having silence. And that's him not dealing damage to my face, so that's not bad. But he's also drawing cards, and I don't have taunts. I can only draw a taunt by means of adapting, which means I'm dead next turn. And that's not a taunt, man. That's the GG. Thanks for watching. And I got more videos coming your way, baby.